Hello, everyone. I'm Vivian Stewart, one of your librarians at Southwest, and welcome back to our virtual classroom. So, my video today will cover how to find credible resources if you are in a speech communication class. So, at this point, I am about to share my desktop and we will get started. Now, you may not be familiar with using library resources, so the very first thing that I want to do is make sure that you know how to access and navigate around our page, and then we'll look at a couple of demonstrations of how to search for information. So the first thing that you would do is open the browser of your choice, and you would simply go to the address that is highlighted above, which is www.southwest.tn.edu. Now, this is the web address to access the public site for the college. And what you would generally notice is that there is a blue banner across the top, and library is the third option, which will lead you directly to our page. Now, if you're using a smaller device like a tablet or even your cell phone, you will not see this menu, but you will see three horizontal lines over to the right-hand side where my cursor is now, and this will allow you to access this menu. Now, taking a closer look at our page, of course, you have the welcome banner that says welcome to the library. And this is a picture of the Bert Bloom location, which is on the Macon Cove campus. Now, we actually have a total of 5 locations. So you also have the Jess Parish Library, you have the Maxine Smith location, Gill Center, and also Whitehaven. The majority of our resources happen to be online. So as long as you have access to a computer, you feel comfortable using our web page, you should be able to get everything that you need without actually having to come on site. The next item says SOAR. SOAR is an acronym that stands for Southwest Online Academic Resources, and this happens to be our discovery service. It will search across several databases so that you can find articles, books, multimedia, and more. To the right, there's an icon for live chat. There isn't a librarian online currently, so chat is offline, but you can leave a message. And hopefully, the librarian will be back online as we're wrapping up. Under your Southwest Library, this is our mission statement and what we're trying to accomplish as a department. To the right, you'll see featured resources. So this gives you a glimpse of some of the resources that we have provided for you to use. If something looks interesting, simply click on the image. It will identify if it is a print item and which location actually has it. You would never have to do any traveling. We will transport materials for you. If it happens to be an online item, as soon as it loads up, you will be able to read the item online. Under frequently visited links, I will wrap up by looking at Ask a Librarian. I will spend the majority of my time on our databases page, and our databases provide you with alternatives to using popular search engines. So I will perform about 5 searches on this particular page. The course reserves page is where you would go if you were trying to find out if your instructor had a copy of a textbook on file so that you could use it on site. These books cannot be checked out of the library, but you can use them while you're here with us. And then you can also make copies, and the cost of copies is 10 cents per page. As I go back, the link that says online library classes, register here. This allows you to attend our live presentations where you will be able to ask us questions and get an immediate response. Reserve a study room will allow you to book and use a study room for a 3-hour period, and we only have study rooms at our campus locations. We have various forms. There are some forms that will allow you to request information or services. Some forms are geared more toward faculty use, and then there are forms that we use so that we can gather feedback to make needed improvements. CyberCat happens to be our classic online catalog. It is the easiest way for you to find out items that Southwest actually owns. You can perform a search by title, author, keyword, or subject. WorldCat is an upgrade from our classic catalog. Not only can you search to see what Southwest may have, but you're able to see if a library in the city of Memphis has that particular item, if libraries in other states may have that item, and even internationally, you could find that if libraries in other countries will have the item that you're looking for. So, through the use of interlibrary loans, we can borrow the item, have it sit here so that you can use it, and then we will send it back. Now, some of the things under related links are pretty self explanatory, so we will not look at everything. I do want to talk about library services, but before going there, let me just quickly talk about report a problem. If you ever experience any problems when you're using our page, if you will simply report it here, we will take care of the issue in a timely manner. Now going to library services, I want to quickly go to circulation services to let you know that under the checkout procedure, your college ID is normally what we will ask for, but as a result of COVID, we are allowing students to provide us with their student ID number. I need you to keep in mind that it is still a campus policy that you're supposed to have your college ID on you whenever you are on site. Under the borrowing use agreements, we maintain partnerships with each of the schools that you see listed. So as a Southwest student, you can visit these different locations and their students could come to our locations and use them. Please keep in mind that there are some things that are required. So if you decided you wanted to visit Christian Brothers University, this is a Category A school. They will allow you to borrow items from that library, but they will ask you for your college ID. When it comes to using their computers or other equipment, you would just simply need to inquire because there may be some restrictions. An example of a Category B school would be the University of Tennessee Health Sciences Library. They would not allow you to check any resources out. You can use them on site, but UT requires that you call before coming over. We do not have any Category C schools right now. An example of a Category D school would be the University of Memphis Cecil C. Humphrey School of Law. You will not be able to check items out. Um, U of M requires that you submit an online form before actually coming over so that campus police can be aware that to expect you. So we simply want you to understand that we may not have everything that you need while you are a student, but we partner with these other schools to make sure that you will have access to needed resources. Looking at our rules of conduct, please be aware that we ask that you monitor your noise level because we still consider the library as a place where students should be able to come and study without a loss of distractions. Do not bring in any foods or beverages. There is a cyber cafe at the Born Bloom location where you can gather there and then come back out into the library. Do not misuse library property by putting your feet up in chairs, sitting on the tables, tagging on, writing on our property, or even coming in and lying down to take a nap before your class. And lastly, we ask that you place your cell phones on vibrate. Long conversations are not allowed. So we are not saying that you can't use your cell phones. We only ask that you be mindful of the noise level. I am going back to the previous screen. If you're taking all of your classes online, you may find the off-campus page to be helpful. I'm going back once more. I am now back at our library's homepage and about to select databases to perform a couple of searches to find credible resources. On our databases page, you are able to locate ebooks, multimedia items, journal, and magazine articles. When you are working remotely, a Southwest username and password will be required for remote access. There are two ways that you can search for items. You can use our A to Z resource listing, which will also give you a description of each title, or you can use the subject approach. Depending on what type of information you're looking for, you select a category, and there may be several titles there that you can use in order to find information. So let's pretend you are in a speech um, class and you were told that you need to write a research paper. You have to have at least 10 resources. The instructor has allowed you to select your own topic, and then your research paper is due by a certain date. So those are the things that we are working against now. So we're at our library's databases page. I am selecting the category of current events. Now, when I expanded current events, I have a listing of databases, which are the paid subscriptions that we are maintaining. I have a listing of recommended websites. So these are websites that we consider to be pretty good. And then multimedia will be for anyone who is more of a visual type learner. So these will either be our databases, or it could be that these are YouTube videos that we have created. Looking at a person that may not be able to come up with a possible topic for the research paper, I want to show you points of view, because this is a database that will give you suggestions of topics. You can look at what's trending in the news carousel. You can look at what's in the spotlight for the month or something that's very relevant in the news. You have browse by category, so you have an alphabetical listing of different categories and subheadings listed up under. Or you can simply select Show All, which will now give you a listing of over 300 topics to select from. So I am selecting the topic of food insecurity. Now, let's say that I wasn't really sure what this topic represented. So it starts off by providing me with an overview that I can read so that I can have a better understanding of what food insecurity is. In addition to reading this, I can actually click to listen to this because I'm more of an audio type learner. I can even translate this into another language if I wanted to. To the right, you'll see related items. So I have an essay that talks in favor of this and an essay that talks against it. So I can get both views. All of our databases come with a set of tools. So if you have a Gmail account, instead of printing this out, you can save it in your Google Drive. You have the ability to create an account and save your information in a folder. There is a print option. So as a Southwest student, you will receive a $35 credit every semester that you are enrolled. There is an email option. You have the ability to save this to a USB drive or to your computer. And you have a tool that says cite, which I think is the most important tool. So that you will not be accused of plagiarism, you would need to cite your resources. So citation format provides you with a listing of various styles, and my overview has been cited. Now, some of the styles you may not be aware of, but I'm sure at some point you have heard of MLA, which stands for Modern Language Association. And this has been cited in the ninth edition, and it is provided here. Now, of course, you can copy and paste this into your bibliography, but before you do that, you need to proof this to make sure that it's done correctly. Because grammatically, a period or a comma can easily be in the incorrect location. Now, the last thing that I want you to see is over to the left-hand side, I have different formats. I see magazines and newspapers and books, academic journals. So if your instructor has said you need X number of magazines and X number of books, this will help you select the formats that you need. I'm selecting newspapers. So in addition to my overview, I have over 7,000 newspaper articles that I can read on my topic, along with some related images. And these are full text articles. So for anyone who needs to find a topic, well, then this is a good place to go. I'm closing this tab out and I'm back at my databases again. The next place I would like to go is database collections, because there's a database entitled TEL, which stands for the Tennessee Electronic Library. This is the best database to start your searches off with. because you can find something on every topic here. Now, there are some databases that are more specialized, but this is a general database that it's a good starting place. Now, there are 41 titles which are selected at the bottom. We are about to perform a federated search where it will search across all of those titles. And I want to try to find something on online dating. So I'm keying this in now. Just a basic keyword search. And we're waiting to see how many results we actually have. So under showing results for, the number of general magazines says 5,476. I have 3 essential overviews on this topic. When it comes to academic journals, which are more scholarly, I have 1,453. 390 books will give me information, over 64,000 newspaper articles. I have 10 images and 12 video clips. Now, if you want to narrow your results list down, we can use a publication date or a range. We can add a subject, like maybe we want to deal with online dating in high school or college, or you could look at a certain document type. Everything is filtered to full text documents. Things are currently sorted by relevance, which means the best ones are listed first, but you can change the order. And you need to understand that every article will not be something that you can use. You need to use your best judgment skills and never wait until the last minute. So as I'm scrolling down, I see some things that may be duplicates, but maybe this one would be pretty good. So I have the title in blue. From gives me the source that it came from. I have my date. I have the number of words. It tells me this is an article. I have my reading level. It pulls a couple of sentences from this article, and found in gives me the title from the previous page where it came from. Now, I forgot to tell you that also in our little scenario, your instructor has said you cannot use popular search engines. So that is the main reason why we're looking at databases now. I am selecting the title, which will now show me the full text of this article. Now, I know you may be saying, well, it would have been much simpler to just use Google. But remember, the instructor has said you cannot use popular search engines. Now, these are some of the things that Google will not do for you. Google will not cite the article. This article has been cited in MLA 9th, APA 7th, Chicago 17th, and Harvard. You have the ability to send this article to your Google Drive, the Microsoft OneDrive, and your email. You have the ability to download this, to send it to the printer. There's something called highlights and notes, which I will come back to you. This is the source, and we can look at back issues that appeared in this particular source. You have the ability to translate your article. You can increase or decrease the font size. You could change the font style. You can listen to this. And then it repeats the same tools above: send to Google Drive, send to the Microsoft OneDrive, email, download, and print. Now, if you like using a highlighter, you have an electronic highlighter here. I can simply take my mouse and I can highlight a section that's most important. And when I release my mouse, I could choose the color of my choice, and I could save this. So if I wanted to, when I finish, I could just um, print or either send just the highlighted portions to the source that I want to send it to, or to send it to the printer. So the databases are very simple to use. It makes finding scholarly information a lot quicker. And these are the type of resources your instructor wants students to actually use. The next thing is that let's try to see, can we find some books quickly? So I'm going to go to electronic books. And I want you to see 2 items. The first one is Credo Reference, which is a collection of digital reference books. And we would just simply search for marriage laws here. So I have 11,661 results. Once again, everything will not be something that we can use. If you're more of a visual person, you can see how we have marriage law, and then these are the different things that kind of branch out from there. So over 11,000 results coming from various reference books. This first one is entitled Marriage Laws in the United States. From gives me the source that the information is coming from. It pulls a couple of sentences. I have the ability to save the ones that I like and come back to them later. It provides me with the number of words. And then I have different tags or key concepts that I could branch out to other things. Simply select your title, and it should now display the information coming from this particular source. And of course, your tools are available at the very top. I want to quickly show you Net Library so you can see an entire book on your topic. So we will perform the same search for marriage laws, or just marriage law. There are 212 books in this particular collection. If I was interested in number 1, this is my title, have the author's name, the publisher. I even have a picture of the cover of the book. I select the title. It shows me the different tools I have access to along with a description of the book. If I select PDF full text, the book is now loading up for me. The table of contents should display over to the left-hand side so I could go to a certain chapter. I have tools across the top that I can use, and there are 2 ways to navigate through this book. I could use my scroll bar on the side that moves up and down from one page to the other, or I could use my navigational arrows, which allows me to move from left to right. But the entire content of the book is here for your use. I'm closing this out. As I continue to scroll down, I want to go to the category of humanities, social sciences. And if by chance you decided that you wanted to research a country, you have the A to Z World Culture database, and we actually have a video that just concentrates totally on that. So I just wanted to point out that particular title to you. And I'm scrolling down to see if there's anything here that looks pretty good. There's something entitled Pop Culture Studies. So let's see, can we find something on K-pop? Okay, when it comes to magazines, I have 983, and we have academic journals, there are 20, news 282, and images, I have 19. Everything here is full text. And once again, if you only needed 10 resources, you could easily get it from just using this one database. Closing this out. Quickly going to the category of multimedia. Under multimedia, we are selecting the Master Academic Collection. And in this particular collection, I am searching for COVID. There are 290 results. So as I'm looking at my results, maybe I want to deal with COVID-19 education. If I select the title, I am now able to view this particular segment or this entire video. I see that I have a tool that says that it will cite this for me. I have a description of my video along with tags that will lead me to other similar type things. I have a description information here. I have a listing of the different segments. I can view the transcript if I would like. Well, there's no transcript available on this one. I'm so sorry. If I select hide segments and transcript, it will place it in theater mode for me. Okay, so I think that you have seen enough of how to use our databases in order to find resources. So now I need to move back up to the category of grammar. And I want to show you the thesis builder, which is under recommended websites. So first, you will need to make sure that you read your instructions and you have to populate this chart. What's the topic you want to write about? We're going to write about online dating. What's your main opinion on this topic? You've done the research, so you should have an opinion. What's the strongest argument supporting your opinion? What's a second good argument that supports your opinion? And if this is not a persuasive paper, simply change this to what is a third good argument that supports your opinion. It also asks for a title. When you select build a thesis based upon what you have placed here, it will generate a possible thesis statement for you. It is not plagiarism as long as you do not copy and paste something and try to use it as your own. Okay? So it will create a thesis statement for you, and you can easily make changes to that if you would like. Under databases, you have Grammarly, and Grammarly is a software that will proof your papers for you before you turn it into your instructor. Now, I just want to point out that under multimedia, we have a YouTube video that you can watch that will walk you through how to use Grammarly. If you would like to view another video that talks about preparing for a research paper, we have that. We have an entire series entitled Steps to Complete a Writing Assignment. And at the very bottom, we have a video that walks you through how to use the thesis builder. I want to go back to the library's homepage now. And I want to quickly show you how to use our discovery service. And this will be the last search that I will do. So let's say that we're trying to find something on TikTok. This is searching across several databases. Okay. So 71,715 results. Now this number is too massive. So the first thing under refine your search is I'm selecting full text online, which removes any print items if there were any. I just want to find magazine articles under content types. I'm only looking for things that were published within the last year. So now I have my results list, which is down to 529. So let's say that I was interested in item number 4, and there's information coming from Entertainment Weekly. So this is my title. I have the author's name. I have the source and the date. Pulls a couple of sentences from it. Review will give me information about the source, so I can make sure it's like credible source. These are the different tools. And by selecting the title, it should go out and retrieve that article for me. But as you can see, I ran into a problem. And I ran into a problem because we no longer have the access to Entertainment Weekly. Okay, so of course you would just need to go back and try to find something else. But if you would let us know when you come into problems like this, we will be able to let you know the reason why it was unable to retrieve the articles. I want to go back now to let you know how to get help later on. So under frequently visited links, I want to go to Ask a Librarian. So these are the different ways you could get assistance. It says need help, meet with the librarian, and we offer two options. You have the on-demand library support, which means you submit a form, you wait for us to send you a link to have a Teams meeting, and we try to answer your questions then. But let's say that you wanted to actually schedule something for the next day. Well, then you need to use the link for a research coach, and you and the librarian will decide the best way to meet. We're online covers our live chat. These are the hours of operation. You could send a text message using this number. These are the hours of operation. You could chat with us through our Facebook page. Our direct telephone numbers are provided. We have librarians embedded in all of the online classes. If you go to the class list, you'll see the option for Ask a Librarian. You post a question and we will respond. We are not using Baumgart as much now because we're using Microsoft Teams, but this is a service that will allow us to view your screen. You have our departmental email, and then of course you have report a problem that you could use as a way to reach out to us. Just want to go quickly back to the library's homepage to see if the librarian is back online. Unfortunately, they're not, but I promise you we do maintain hours when we do have people online monitoring that. Okay, so I did not want to go over 30 minutes, so let me stop sharing my screen. This brings me to the end of the presentation. I hope that you will feel a little bit more comfortable about working on your research project. Keep in mind that you can check with the librarian and we can try to provide you with additional guidance if this did not cover everything that you thought it would. Um, we would also like to know if by chance there's something else that we should have included. So when we create our next videos, we could try to keep those type things in mind. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that this has been helpful, and please share this information with other students. Have a great day and goodbye.